Let's go, baby. We talking fantasy football, top 12 wide receivers. Ah!
Holy shit.
What's going on? What's going on, people? It's your boy, RUMBOYZ Robbie of the RUMBOYZ Fantasy Network. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have not already, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to say that right away. Spike that like button. Go ahead, make that gray button that looks like this thumbs up. Go blue. We greatly appreciate it. Let YouTube know that you're enjoying the content. Let's get into our top 2021, top 12 fantasy football wide receivers. Before we continue, link in the description. Download the SportsMe app. If you have any fantasy football questions, let me know. I will get them answered for you on the SportsMe app. Just post your question in the form of a video. Say, hey, Robbie, this is so-and-so, username, whatever. This is my question, and I'll get that answered. I'll get that taken care of. Whether it's fantasy football, money line, over-unders, you name it. It's your boy, RUMBOYZ Robbie, and I got you back. Want to also remind everyone about monkeyknifefight.com. This is brought to you by monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code RUMBOYZ. Promo code RUMBOYZ in all caps. Make sure you guys head on over to monkeyknifefight.com. Daily fantasy prop action. If you're into daily fantasy sports, you're into props, that's where I'm going to be able to help you. If you join our YouTube channel today, okay, you join our YouTube channel, I'm going to be rolling out the weekly newsletter that will have all of my picks that I will not be able to discuss on air. So make sure you guys get up with that. We're matching your very first deposit when you use promo code RUMBOYZ all the way up to $100. Go ahead and take advantage of that $100 value over there on monkeyknifefight.com or whenever you go ahead and download the Monkey Knife Fight app. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. It's Friday, September 3rd. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the RUMBOYZ and girls, what to do. Dilly dilly. It's noon here in Colorado. Time to have a beer. First wide receiver that we are talking about is no other than the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Rocking that number 88, part of that 88 club. I put CeeDee Lamb at 12. I know that Amari Cooper is an amazing route runner, but Cooper definitely an honorable mention. This team could very well supply you two wide receiver ones in both Lamb and Cooper. I am just higher on Lamb. I'm still worried about Cooper being on that one-year deal. It sounds like to me that they could possibly at some point make a decision to move on past Cooper to save some money, which is why I have Lamb in the driver's seat as the wide receiver one. I think he's going to be the wide receiver one all season long. This next gentleman, you're probably shocked as to why he's sitting at 11, and that's Allen Robinson. Look, guys, as long as we don't know what's happening with that whole Fields and Dalton situation, I'm going to go ahead and I put Allen Robinson at 11. If it's Fields, then maybe I move Robinson up to maybe 9 or 10. Maybe, we can swap those guys around, but I'm locking Allen Robinson in. And what's great about Allen Robinson is, he's still a top 12 guy. No matter who his quarterback is, he still catches the ball. He still produces. So we don't have to worry about, necessarily who the quarterback is too much. But if it is Dalton, I do have to just a little bit, just a smidge, move Allen Robinson down my rankings, which allows this guy to slide up. This very next wide receiver that I'm going to talk about, Terry, the F1 McLaurin. Guys, Terry McLaurin is a special receiver. Many of you know that we got the opportunity back in 2019 and sit down with the speedster. We're the ones who dubbed him with that nickname F1. He even said, he's like, I haven't heard that one before. I might have to use that. Guys, I really feel, once again, kind of that same thing that I said with Robinson. No matter who the quarterback is, Terry is going to go out there and get it done. And he's still young. And then this year, he actually has a better quarterback in Fitzpatrick. And then Heineke is still back there behind Fitzpatrick. So if Washington ever chooses to pull Fitzpatrick, Heineke's going to step right in. We already know what that relationship is like between the two. Terry F1 McLaurin is going to be the wide receiver one on Washington. He's going to be a wide receiver one for your fantasy lineup. I wish I could get more shares of McLaurin, but he's just always going right before I can grab him. I haven't been able to really grab a guy yet, but he's going to produce. He's going to be amazing. I love F1 McLaurin. Keenan Allen. Now, with Keenan Allen, okay, there's not really – we don't know who the wide receiver 2 for the Los Angeles Chargers is going to be yet, okay? And as long as we don't know who the Chargers wide receiver 2 is going to be, that leaves Keenan Allen always in the driver's seat. And that Justin Herbert-Keenan Allen stack is super, super equitable. You could definitely get that. You could definitely land that in your fantasy drafts. I know a lot of you guys are going to be drafting this final weekend. You can definitely land Keenan Allen. I love the stack with Allen and Herbert. You could go Herbert. If you're in Superflex, you go Herbert first, and then you grab Allen. You grab Allen in single QB, and then wait later, and then you go ahead and you grab Herbert. But that stack, to me, is just super sexy, super fantasy-friendly. I think that you guys will enjoy that. Keenan Allen at wide receiver 9. DK Metcalf. Wow, another guy that we interviewed. There's about 3 guys on here that we have that we've sat down and we've spoken with. DK Metcalf, the monolith, the giant. He's just a behemoth of a man at his size and his stature. But I'm sure you're asking, Robbie, why is he at 8, right? Look, I have DK Metcalf at 8 because with Russell Wilson at quarterback, he has a tendency week by week, depending on matchups, to hyper target either DK or Tyler Lockett. Me personally, that's a headache that I don't like dealing with and that I don't want to deal with. And then they also just gave Tyler Lockett a bag. So it's like, well, Lockett's still there, old as hell, but he's still being effective. Russell Wilson still loves him. That's still one of Russell Wilson's favorite targets. So that's just kind of where I worry. But DK is going to be the wide receiver 1 on that team. I can't imagine many corners having the ability to shut DK down. He also does face Jalen. He is going to have to face Jalen Ramsey twice a year. That may or may not affect things. Ramsey's an amazing corner, and then also, Budda Baker freaking hawked down DK and chased him down. Budda's keyed in on DK. I just moved to DK, a lot. I know a lot of sites have DK higher. I put DK at 8 just because of that whole Tyler Lockett thing, and it's just a headache that I personally don't want to deal with. But still a respectable athlete, still should be rostered in all formats on your fantasy team. DFS is going to be super difficult with diagnosing DK. AJ Brown next up. Another guy that the RUMBOYZ Fantasy Network had gotten the ability to sit down and interview pre-pandemic. AJ Brown, I feel, is going to, if we take the 2019 receivers in McLaurin, Metcalf, and Brown, right, that are all going to be on this list, I'm taking AJ Brown, even though I may not be able to stack him with Ryan Tannehill just because they're going, kind of around apart. They're kind of, apart in Superflex. In Superflex, if you could maybe grab Tannehill and AJ, if you go quarterback then receiver, or if you go quarterback, running back, and then maybe receiver, it's just super difficult with AJ Brown. They bring in Julio Jones. I think that actually makes AJ Brown even better because now you got to double Julio versus having to double Brown. Somebody on this offense is going to get open. I'm all in on the Tennessee Titans offense this season. I'm all in on Tannehill. I'm all in on AJ. I'm all in on Julio. I'm all in on Derrick Henry. I'm all in on Ferguson. Just the Titans are probably the most fantasy-friendly team that there is because of all the weapons that you can acquire to make your fantasy team great. But A.J. Brown, wide receiver 7 here in our rankings of just the top 12 wide receivers. Gotta love it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Wanting more of it, we're going to go into Calvin Ridley. Now, many people are like, yo, Ridley's a top 5 guy. But really, I don't know if Ridley's going to be a top 5 guy if I were to sit back and pay attention to all the narratives out there surrounding Kyle Pitts and, well, he's not a tight end, really. He's just going to be lined up at receiver, da-da-da-da-da. Look, we're also going to get a full season of Russell Gage, okay? I don't believe that Ridley's going to see that 143 targets all over, especially if Kyle Pitts is supposed to be what he's supposed to be. You know, so I moved Ridley down from being in the top 5 just to 6. He's just right outside that top 5. If Kyle Pitts is going to be what he's going to be, Ridley's probably not going to finish in the top 5. He'll probably just be right outside there, right at 6. But still need to roster Calvin Ridley. You still need to go and get as much Calvin Ridley as you can, because as of now, he's still the guy. We haven't seen Pitts yet. Injuries and things of that nature happen. Ridley's going to be the guy. We saw what he did when in the absence of Julio last year, and he proved that he's a one. Justin Jefferson, who's featured here in the thumbnail. Shout out to FF Peacock. Shout out to Miles for designing this, for designing this graphic. Look, Justin Jefferson, when you put up Randy Moss-esque like numbers, Moss was my favorite receiver growing up. Okay, in basketball, we yell Kobe. In football, we yell Moss. Okay? With that being said, and with that being stated, I think that Justin Jefferson is this year's Justin Jefferson. Okay? It's very hard to replicate those types of numbers, but when you're having some of the issues that you're having at tight end, that's now one less pass catcher, and you're already depleted at the wide receiver position from some of the depth pieces that you got. They're not that great. You know, all fringe, you know, in terms of NFL standpoint, all fringe, you know, wide receiver 3s. You know, borderline probably practice squad guys. Justin Jefferson's going to see a hell of a lot of targets. Thielen's going to see a hell of a lot of targets. But I'm all in on Justin Jefferson. And then if you're going late wide receiver, you could buy the dip on Thielen as well, because people are worried about his age and shit. But I'm all in on Justin Jefferson. JJ's going to have one hell of a season. Let's get into our top 4. Make sure that you guys do remember to download the SportsMe app if you have not already. If you have any issues with my rankings, aside from commenting here on YouTube, you can debate me face-to-face about it. Stefan Diggs, look, Josh Allen the Stallion, Vanilla Vic. Okay, I get that Diggs is a top 3 guy on Fantasy Pros, and with these 3, with these 4, they're all kind of, you know, sort of interchangeable. I had Diggs and I had a Josh Allen and a Stefan Diggs stack last year. It paid off dividends. You're probably not going to be able to get that this year. Look, ever since the miracle in Minnesota, I've been high on Diggs. That catch changed that man's life. He is impeccable, okay? He is unfuckwittable. As long as Buffalo is going to keep doing Buffalo things, Buffalo might be the scariest team in the AFC, possibly. From a fantasy standpoint, Diggs is going to catch anything and everything that is thrown his direction. Emmanuel Sanders is the wide receiver 2 in this offense. Well, allegedly, supposedly. And then you got Gabe Davis, you know, who's going to be the 3. And then you got Dawson Knox, so on and so forth. The only pass catcher out of this whole offense that I want is Stefan Diggs. Stefan Diggs is the one there. He's going to be the one there. Everyone else is just there to kind of give him breaks in between passes, realistically. So I got Diggs at 4. I put D-Hop at 3. Okay. I went ahead and I put D-Hop at 3. I just love Kyler Murray. I think that Kylo Ren's going to go off. D-Hop having that freaking just Thanos catch in the end zone. I think we're going to see a lot of those. Larry Fitzgerald retired. They brought in AJ Green, but he's old. I don't see that having too heavy of an impact. D-Hop, year in, year out, I'm always more than likely going to rank him top 3. I'm almost always probably going to put him right there at that 3 mark. This is where it's going to get a little bit, you know, there could be a debate here with who goes 1. Let's go ahead and show you guys 2. 2 is going to be Devante Adams. Super hard to replicate the numbers that he had last year, but Aaron Rodgers is back. And when you have that bad man, anything is possible. They brought in Randall Cobb. I feel like Cobb is probably going to be irrelevant for the most part. I'm not too worried about Randall Cobb. Tanyan's there. Rodgers coming back has kind of deflated Tanyan's value because I guess you don't get that rookie tight end, that rookie QB to tight end connection. But Devante Adams has always stayed put. I just worry about the ability to replicate last season, and that's why he's at 2. And Tyreek Hill is at 1. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes as your QB, I feel like you got to be the number one guy. You got to be the number one prospect. I get that Kelsey is there, but that Andy Reid offense is going to support both Hill and Kelsey perfectly fucking fine. Nothing to really worry about there. He's a cheetah. He's a speedster. He's probably the fastest receiver in the NFL. This man's out here trying to challenge Usain Bolt. I love Tyreek Hill. I think that he's going to have an amazing season. I think that he does end as wide receiver 1 ahead of Devante Adams. I think Adams could maybe land in that 2 to 3 range just because defenses are going to have to key in on Adams. I feel a lot more. I don't feel that defenses are scared of Aaron Rodgers requesting for Randall Cobb to come back. I think the defenses now are more so keyed in on Adams. Adams does have that little hop skip before running a route. Maybe corners can figure out how to knock him off of that before he fully explodes throughout his route and then finds ways to get open and get separation. But 1 and 2, can be interchangeable, can be debatable. I've seen in drafts where Hill goes first. I've seen in drafts where Adams goes first. I've seen in drafts where it goes Hill, Hopkins, Adams. I've seen drafts where Ridley has been the first receiver off the board. So make sure that you guys are out there this draft weekend, Labor Day weekend. You're being fluid. This is just my top 12. How I see it, how I feel. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments section. Hit me up on the SportsMe app. Remember, daily fantasy prop action, promo code RUMBOYZ. I'm matching your very first deposit all the way up to $100 on monkeyknifefight.com. And you can also download the Monkey Knife Fight app. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy RUMBOYZ, Robbie. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the RUMBOYZ and girls, what it do. Dilly dilly. Oh, make sure you guys comment so you can win a copy of that Madden 22. Peace.